Hello and welcome back to Vooper Vlogs. Today we'll be taking a dive into the first serious topic that isn't just a bunch of technical blabber. Let's talk about self-worth. Fantastic. Already smiling because it's hard to talk about serious subjects when you're used to just memeing. But I found this is something a lot of people struggle with, especially online. Sometimes you can't tell if people are memeing or if they legitimately have like trouble, but I think a lot of people do. And I think part of it is just a result of the highly complicated landscape we've put ourselves in, especially on the internet, where your individuality doesn't seem to matter as much as your 87 group identities, and you kind of lose yourself in the torrent of information and things you're supposed to do, and then you just, you'll never compare to those 87 Instagram models, so why try? But I'm here to tell you that that's a bad outlook, right? We can do better. Well, maybe not than the Instagram models, I have nothing on them, but we can do better when it comes to respecting ourselves. And I think the first thing that a lot of people struggle with is, a lot of people don't believe that they are in control of their own path. That's a rough one. Personally, if I didn't think I was in control of my own future and stuff, I think I would be quite a mess. It's like the only thing that keeps me motivated is thinking about the fact that what I do dictates what's going to happen in the future. If I didn't think I had control over that, it would almost feel like there's no point at all. And I think that's kind of what people get into. It's no matter what I do, I'm gonna end up working at McDonald's till I'm 70, retire late, and then cry myself to sleep every night. It's like, yeah, that's a bad outlook. That's not good. And if you think there's nothing you can do about that, that's even worse. But rejoice, for Spook Hooper is here to tell you, at least in my opinion, I do think everyone has the ability to carve their own path out. Now, that doesn't mean it'll be easy. I mean, when it comes to it, you're always going to have to make sacrifices, and life is all about investment. You choose where to invest your time, your money, your relationships. Everything is an investment in the end of the day. And some pay off massively like GameStop, and some then collapse massively like GameStop. You gotta find the part of your life that'll be the next Bitcoin. What can you put your time into that'll give you returns on your happiness? And a lot of people have trouble finding that, because believe it or not, people are terrible at understanding themselves, which is kind of whatever developer made this stupid game we call life. What a mistake to not include an instruction manual for ourselves. That's just wacky. I mean, I guess you could say we have instincts and stuff, but I don't think that really counts. I say it was a shoddy job on documentation. And as a programmer, shoddy documentation scares me. But we have to try to make meaning of things, because nobody comes out and outright gives us the meaning. I mean, people try. Like, I could try, but my meaning is probably not going to be anywhere close to yours, I have different goals and aspirations than any of you will have. Well, maybe some of you have similar. There's some simple ones that I think everyone can pretty much agree on, unless you're a masochist. Like be happy, be comfortable, maybe have a warm place to sleep. There's some goals that I think are just kind of universal. But then when it gets more complicated, we all do want different things, and that's why when it comes to relationships, life is hard. The chances of finding someone with the exact same goals and aspirations as you, who's planning to get to them in the same way, that's just unfortunately probably not going to happen. And someone or everyone is going to have to make sacrifices at some point down the line. That's when it comes back to that word investment. The parts that you choose to keep and the parts that you choose to discard, that kind of defines who you are. In my case, taking a semester off of college, I chose to give up that to try to gain a chance to build myself and my character on my own. And that may have been a bad gamble, a bad investment of my time, but unfortunately, there's no real way to know the result of something until you let it play through. If you could see where the stock market was going tomorrow, well, there would be a lot of rich people. You can only look at it after the fact and go, shit, I did well, or shit, I fucked up. Unfortunately, very unfortunately. But that's kind of what keeps things going. I mean, if we knew everything that was going to happen in life, if it was a book and we could just read ahead, that would kind of ruin the story, wouldn't it? It would have been far less exciting when my YouTube channel took off if I already knew it was going to happen. It only made me confident and proud because I did that without any clue. It just happened, and then I was like, wow, this is happening. I did it. And that's a feeling I wish everyone can experience a lot in their life, you know, the payoff, the reward. Because sometimes it is a very long game, you know. You know those stupid mobile apps where they keep you playing by like giving you those stupid gem rewards every day or whatever? Yeah, well, that's because the human brain is attuned to quick and easy satisfaction. You know, little rewards quickly, it makes us happy because lots of rewards, and we just keep getting hit with that dopamine. But Charlotte's like, I don't want to move, I want to just keep going in circles. Come on, Charlotte. Anyways, unfortunately, life is not really built in that way. Life is about a bunch of big investments that take forever to pay off, and by the time they pay off, you probably are completely tired of the reason you went in the first place. Like college, 4 years is a long time, and I mean, you can keep your eyes on that goal, but it's just, that's rough. That's rough, buddy. Right or left? We'll go left. So yeah, when it comes to self-worth, you have to think about investing what you want, investing into what you want so you can be who you want to be. Because a lot of people genuinely do not believe that they can be who they want to be. And there are specific things that you can't change. I'll be the first to admit that. And I'm lucky because if I got the option, I don't think I'd choose to change anything about myself. Maybe better eyesight. Something inconsequential. Nothing about my personality or anything though, because I genuinely do like who I am. But, you know, the dice are rolled. We are who we are. But thankfully, I do believe that people do have the capability to change themselves over time. I mean, if this wasn't true, then the world would not be nearly as good a place as it is. If everyone never got rid of bad habits, and if everyone... Charlotte, what are you freaking out about, dog? Anyways, I do think that people can build themselves to be the person they want to be. And unfortunately, you can only do that if you really believe in it. Like, if you're not confident in the fact that you can change, you're not really going to have any progress. She's unhappy because I gave her a new collar with her rabies tag on it, and she's not liking it. Stop it. Charlotte. Stop. I'm going to have to put you on both hands and give you a shorter leash length, and you're not going to like that. Anyways, ignore the dog. When it comes to that stuff, I think that people definitely do have the ability to change, and that's why I think that the whole like self-worth thing, like maybe you don't like who you are some days, and maybe you do things that you're not proud of, but at the end of the day, you can always make yourself into someone you're proud of. Like, if you started working on like a piece of art or something, you wouldn't be proud of it the first day when you just have like the line work or the really rough sketch up. Like, for a lot of us, that's where we are in life. We are the very, very rough first interpretation of the person we're going to end up being. And so it's not really fair to judge ourselves based off of that, because things will get much better, you know? There's a lot of work left to be done. Now, the important thing is that you continue with the paintbrush and you don't just leave it as a rough sketch. You gotta keep building your character, doing things that make you uncomfortable, trying to learn about yourself. But I definitely think that it's not a good idea to, especially don't judge yourself on your worst days. Don't judge yourself on your best days either. Judge yourself based on just, you know, the medium amounts of what you are as a person. Like we're the sum of everything that we've experienced and all of our reactions. But I think that people tend to focus on the really extreme things and not just the simple things like going on a walk with your dog. You know, simple things can show a lot more about someone's character than all of the extreme things combined. I think that you'd get to know me a lot better as a person from this side vlog channel with like 100 viewers than you'd get to know me from my big channel with 170,000. You might say the other one is a better indicator of me because it's a bigger part of my life, but I don't think that's true. I think when we really do something like that, when we really go out of our way to succeed, or we really fail, we kind of show an embellished version of ourselves, you know, the perfect, you know, that's who we really, really want to be, but we're not always quite there in reality, so you can leave an, oh, jeez, really pulling. You can leave an unnecessarily high expectation for yourself if you base everything off of your best. But at the same time, you should be looking to grow. I mean, growth is the most important thing that someone can do. As long as you're going in the correct direction, you'll end up at your destination eventually. I mean, all roads lead to Rome, Rome being your eventual happiness. I mean, you may not see it in the beginning, but you'll get there. Right? Almost anything in life you can make it through, given enough time and perseverance. But personally, you know, I'm not exactly where I want to be. I accept that, but I also accept that it's kind of my fault. If I really wanted to, I could go right now and be where I want to be and do what I want to do. I have the ability. I could make the sacrifice, but that's a scary prospect. Because like I said before, it's an investment. And sometimes the amount you have to give up is so great that even if it's something you really, really want, you know, it can be too scary. It's all right to be scared when it comes to life decisions. I mean, they're big, they're spooky. You're literally betting the rest of your life on them. I mean, we're not talking about like how much peanut butter am I putting on this PB&J sandwich. We're talking about a little bit bigger things here, but everything does add up in the end. I mean, everything does matter. I'm a big believer that everything matters. Even things you don't notice. Small acts of kindness, you know, you open the door for someone. You may not notice the result of it. All right, sorry. I thought I was recording there for a bit. Rewind time. So the things that you do that you don't think are going to be seen, I think are probably the biggest indicator of you as a person and what you are really worth. If you think about like when your friend is down and you spend your time trying to console them or make them feel better, you may not think anyone will notice. Obviously the friend will, but obviously you're not doing it in front of a crowd. If you are doing it in front of a crowd, you are weird. Don't do that. Don't live stream your friend consoling. That's cringe. But it may not seem like much to you, but those moments when you do things for potentially zero reward whatsoever, that's really who you are, because there's nothing pulling the strings. You're not doing it because you want fame or fortune or success. You're doing it because that's who you are. That's it. No strings attached. And not just that, but it pays forward. Helping people, the beautiful thing is if you make one person's day better, they'll be more inclined to do so for another person. And the pay it forward style has kind of been the model I've been trying to go off of in my life. It's one of the reasons that a lot of people know that I used to have all of my direct messages open on Discord, which some people would say you're absolutely insane. And yes, I got thousands and thousands and thousands of messages, some of which were very kind and nice, and some of which were people who had legitimate problems. And while I'm not really the most qualified person to help people with their problems, I still tried to comfort them. Because at the end of the day, if I was having trouble, I'd want someone to do it for me. And maybe by helping those people out, they'll be in a better mood, doing better, and they'll be able to help other people out. And then eventually, those people will help people, they'll be happy, and those people will help me. You know? It only takes a little bit to make a chain reaction to make the world a much better place. Something you shouldn't forget. Only takes a little bit. Charlotte. Anyways, of course. When it comes to things, I think that people care a lot about how people see them. But when it comes to self-worth, just be who you want to be. You know? If you want to be more social and more confident, it's gonna seem like really dumb to say this, but I'm gonna pull the old just do it. When I started my channel, I was not very confident at all. I was getting bullied in middle school. I didn't have that many friends, and like I did not know how to talk to a camera or anything, but I looked at other people on YouTube and I was like, I want to be like that. And there are a lot of times where I'd start a video and then I'd just stop it because I think it wasn't doing well enough, or I didn't think I could hype myself up enough. And then there's a point where I was like, well, why don't I just do it? I mean, there's nothing stopping you from being more social or anything. I mean, anxiety, sure. And yeah, I went through that and it sucks, but sometimes you just gotta do things. If you think about a schedule and a timeline forever and what you're gonna do, that's fantastic. But if you don't actually do any of it, well, then it's kind of useless, isn't it? And this is coming from someone who bought a schedule for college, filled it completely out, and then just never looked at it again. That's not the way you should do things. You should think about your actions and just, you know, screw it. Sometimes the best way to go about things is just to say, screw it, I'm just gonna do it. I'm not gonna worry about the consequences right now. I am in charge of my life. If shit goes down, I can figure it out later. And I think I'm finally starting to get to the point where I can just do that, you know? With big decisions, it's a lot harder. But little things, sometimes just, you kind of have to train yourself to not have that response, the super worried and like what could go wrong response. And the best way to train yourself to do that is just with little things. Little things when you're a little bit uncomfortable, but you really want to do something, but you're a little bit uncomfortable and you're holding back. Just do it. I know it sounds like terrible advice, and I already know people are gonna be like, Spike, if you have X, you can't just Y. But if there's nothing physically restraining you, I believe that everyone has the strength to go beyond what they think they're capable of, at least once. And then that one time that you prove it, when you prove, yeah, I can sing in public, yeah, I can dance, yeah, I can stand up on this stage, yeah, I can do YouTube videos, yeah, I can stream. The first time you do it, the second time you go, well, I already did it once, so clearly it's not impossible, and then you've broken it. That's it. The cycle of self-sabotage is over. You have proven that you can do it in the end, and now there's technically nothing holding you back. It only takes breaking it one little time. One little time. But will you? That's the question. Will you do it? And it's a hard one to answer. I'd like you to answer yes to that, but who knows? And obviously, don't apply this logic to things that are bad for you or your health or will get you in trouble. This is meant as a positive reinforcement tool, not a negative one. But yeah, the thing about loving yourself is sometimes you gotta push yourself to do things you don't want to, or even you have to push yourself for things you do want to do, but just don't think you're capable of. Yeah, that one's probably harder, because if you know you're capable of something and you're not willing to do it, that means that there's a lot. there's a lot of stress about it. And that's rough. That is certainly rough. Like, I've told people, I want to move at some point somewhere better for a business and somewhere warmer, somewhere maybe better for things like vlogging, but at the same time picking up your life and moving, that's a scary aspect, and I don't know if I could actually just wing it and do it. But at some point you gotta ask yourself, you know, how long do I want to wait? Years go by. Am I getting closer to the person I want to be? Am I getting closer to where I want to be? My career path? My relationships? I can't give too much relationship advice considering I'm not really in one, but I think that this really does relate to a lot of things. Like, if you just wait forever for life to throw what you want at you, you're generally not going to get it. I mean, you can get lucky, but if you keep trying over and over and over, even if you're failing, you know, my first 1,000 videos or so were just absolute flops. But at some point, something will stick. And that applies to your self-esteem too, your self-worth, you know? Maybe a lot of things don't make you feel better about yourself, but eventually, if you keep doing the things that you're holding back on, something will stick. Something will make you a little bit proud. You'll do something great. You'll make your first masterpiece, finish your first program, learn your first language, and then you'll be like, you know what? I've got that now. Achievement get, and I can hold on to this for the rest of my life. Because you'll hold on to everything. Even if oh shit, Charlotte, you're gonna kill me. Anyways, even if the end product you don't hold on to, the process, the memories, and the slight amount you've broken down that wall on yourself, that stays. And so with that, I just want to say thank you for taking this walk with me. Charlotte's very appreciative as well. Ray Charlotte, you appreciate them? Of course you do. So, it's Kobe signing off. Have a nice day. And do something. Do something that you've wanted to do. And maybe let me know in the comments what it is. You know, what have you been holding back on? How are you gonna fix it? You can talk in code as well if you're too afraid to say it.